Shabba-da-da! Commentary, here's the big finish, and that's enough of that. Dear listener, continuing would be a mistake, because I cannot sing. But hey, hi, hello, everyone, how's it going? It's me, Prince Devin, back at you again with another commentary video, because I don't know what my next full video is going to be, and I have things, or rather, one very big thing to say about this Aegon Targaryen video, and hopefully I won't get too distracted by my undiagnosed donkey brain. So, I don't have a lot to say for a build-up. Let's just get started with the video in 3, 2, now.
And now it's time for a lukewarm
So, okay, there are many things I would change about this video if I had a chance to do it again, but the first one is, intro's too long. It takes 3 minutes to get to the subject matter. That is, I don't like how long that is. This joke is a very Tumblr joke. I don't want to say surface level critique, but it's a joke that made a bunch of rounds on like House of the Dragon Twitter, and it's my in because I think the video is broaching a controversial subject. Some by nature and some by my point of view is I think there's more going on with Aegon Targaryen than anyone wants to give him credit for because he sucks. But if I can win you over by saying the joke you've all heard before, then maybe you'll stick around for the part you don't agree with. It's like that bit in the Marvel movie where Captain America grabs the hammer and we all cheered because we all got it. That's what Marvel's really good at. So anyways, why I say that this is potentially my most controversial video, if anyone cared to watch, is because when I was filming it, literally while making it, I stumbled upon that realization of, hey, wait a minute. Did I make a video that says not empathizing with a fictional character is tantamount to sexual assault? That's bad. That was something I came to while filming, and so I had a lot of not great feelings, and while it was pending on YouTube, waiting to be uploaded, I rewatched the We Don't Talk About Kenny video by a creator who is bigger than me, whose name I don't remember, so I don't feel bad about that because you got more subscribers than me already, bud. Check out the We Don't Talk About Kenny video if you hadn't seen it. But it has a really powerful ending, and a few lines in particular really stuck out to me, so I went through the trouble of writing them down because A, I'm working on reading out loud, and B, they were that good I didn't want to paraphrase them.
good to me.
Joke goes on too long. Oh, hey, look, it's the House of the Dragon official podcast. Greta, Jason, let me on your show. I'm not going to do any more of that over this commentary track. I did enough of it on the video. But anyways, the quote is, and if you can make it through the game without even reading it as being about abuse, then is it actually saying anything about abuse? Or is abuse just a subject handled with, yes, sophistication and honesty, but in a game capable of engendering only empathy with and not understanding of abuse? And, well, yes, empathy is a beautiful thing, and this game can give you a glimpse of what it's like to be on the shit end of an abusive relationship. Isn't part of the problem with abuse that it makes you feel this way? If I get to the end of the game feeling nothing but sick, numb, and hopelessness, is it achievement? Is it an achievement? Is empathy enough? And I butchered, you can see why I'm working on reading out loud. But the kind of ending bit goes on. He goes on to say later in the video that isn't this accepting that this version of Kenny who exists in The Walking Dead 2, that the events of 1 changed him into it, isn't that the story abusers tell their victims? The world did this to me. I have no agency in the way I treat other people. And because I was already grappling with did I make a morally bad, did I make a video that's bad? I then doubled down and was like, did I make a video where the only point is you should empathize with abusers? That's all you should do? Is that what I made? And I was grappling with that, and I went to plug this on TikTok, try to get that cross-pollination, my audience's baby. And the highlighted thing I did was the hurt people, where, fun fact, the music that is set to is a piano cover slow reverb of Joji's Sanctuary, and the first and only comment that video got, and I got a comment immediately also while I was grappling with these feelings of like my own moral culpability and what I had potentially put out into the world. That comment was, I don't care how sad or hurt Aegon is, that doesn't give him the right to sexually assault a child. And I was like, oh no! I did a bad thing, but through self-reflection and talking it out with some friends, I don't think that is what I did. I think the point of my video, and you can argue, I argue it in this video, intentionality versus effect, and I am very open to hearing if the effect of my video is making a case that if you just empathize with abusers, things will get better. I don't think that's what I'm trying to do, but if you want to say that against me, oh, it's my cat. I didn't close the door this time for Wi-Fi reasons, so now she's here. Please don't touch the microphone, baby. This is part of why I don't have ADHD, but I have a donkey brain, and I want to talk about this. So this scene right now with Jaime Lannister, I, like, in my soul, I needed it in this video because I don't know if we're going to make straight up just Game of Thrones content. And this is possibly my favorite scene in the show because Jaime is my favorite character, and this is where his humanity is truly brought to light, and it is the Rubicon between his relationship with Brienne, where she can finally see him as not the Kingslayer, but as Jaime Lannister, the human being. And when I was including that, it's a 5-minute scene, and I was like, I'll just let this run straight. And the part of my brain that went to intro to TV broadcasting goes, no, Devin, you cannot let a clip run this long. But the emotional part of my soul was like, but it's such compelling fiction. And that was the battle the entire time, editing it down to that like 1.5-minute clip. And if you were to say it is still too long, I wouldn't have a good enough argument. But it's such compelling fiction. Look at his performance. So yeah, that's all the things I wanted to say about that, which is completely derailed the original thought I had. But I ultimately don't think I made a video where I justify sexual assault. That's not who I am. It's not at the center of my being. I'm very open to that criticism and would listen to you if that's what you had to say. But again, intention versus intent, the effect versus intent. The intention behind this video is simply going, Alicent Hightower is a victim of the patriarchy. The men who are in charge of her life put her in undue situations. It results in a lot of trauma, and she has internalized many lessons about the patriarchy unknowingly and has taken in a lot of abusive parenting, passed that on to her son, that has resulted in the way that he is. And I think that level of intergenerational trauma is what the show is about to no small part, and the patriarchy is what the show is about in large part. That's why a man makes the decision himself to murder his wife. There's a version of this video that was angrier, like focused on being upset with the fandom for like giving Viserys and Daemon free passes, and I don't think that gets a lot when I want to center my point around Aegon being interesting. Just pointing to the shortcomings and failings of other characters doesn't really make my point, and it's mostly me just being like, well yeah, Aegon sucks, but how come Damien gets fan cams? Damien, who also sucks, and a not insignificant part of his characterization is empathy, and the ways in which his empathy results in committing violence towards women. He chokes his wife. He's not there when Rhaenyra's having a miscarriage. He kills his first wife because she says, I know you couldn't get it up. The second Rhaenyra becomes an active sexual agent in their encounter, he can't get it up anymore. He's such a piece of shit. And Viserys,
Pressingly accurate. Now, I guess we could argue here.
Sorry, I just coughed and that'll be edited out. And Viserys is a rapist. It's what he does with Alicent, guys. And also, he kills his wife. And yeah, he's sad about it the whole series. And I think it was it was a lead writer says that her take is that it's a love story, and because Viserys will always love his first wife, he can never forgive himself for having the decision to have her killed. But my guy, you still did the thing. like, if your complaint with Aegon is bad to women, yes, 100%, I hear you. So is his whole damn family. let, me, let me introduce you to the rest of his lineage, except for Aemond, maybe, who is a bona fide monster. Listen, I don't want to complain more about the official House of the Dragon podcast. I love those guys. I think they do great work. Ooh, I just realized it's been 2 weeks. There's a new episode. I'm so happy with this. I'm sorry for laughing so hard at my own jokes, but
relationships to his parents. Let's start with his dad, King Viserys. Did they have any screen time together?
I waited like 4 extra days to record this because I was like, I'm finally over being sick. Oh yeah, I just coughed again. Hopefully I edited those out. But the reason I'm so tickled pink with that edit I made is because I'm very envious of people who can make tribute videos. Shout out Queen of Roses. You know what? Her video, her Alicent Rhaenyra video, is going to be in the link in the description. And there's another guy, I want to say Jesse Jr., who has a bunch of House of the Dragon videos that I watch and love. And I wish I could set together footage to music in a way that is just satisfying and tells the complete story. It's a skill set I wish I had. So me getting to play around with that and make something that is not flat out garbage just tickles my soul. It's a skill set I wish I was better at, and getting to do it feels good. It feels good to fail and then succeed. Isn't that what which is all human ingenuity? Trying, failing, and then getting better, and the fact that that feels good. But yeah, Aemond Targaryen is a demon. So's Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra has a lot of character faults, and though I'm going to support her in all of her war crimes, this is mostly because I have an enormous crush on Emma Darcy. But Aemond is a demon. That man is sent straight from the pits of hell. What's it like to be the actor for Aemond and know that you look so evil? Just...
and with a greater understanding of the character.
But yeah, I've heard motherfuckers be like, oh, is Aemond wrong for stealing the dragon? Listen, I don't care they stole the dragon. You never need to walk up to your cousins and threaten to feed them to your dragon, then beat your nephews with a rock and say you're going to die in fire just like your father, bastards. What an evil demon child. Aemond Targaryen did everything wrong
from the beginning, and she's trying to bridge the gap, and she has these children that are just
I got caught up in listening and also thinking, but there was this moment in my intro to TV and broadcasting class where, shout out to you, Mr. Story, you tried very hard to get things out of me, and I'm sorry that I could never perform. I had cancer. I'm not going to get into it. But one of the lessons he gave me was, this is a good video, and it was like 10 minutes long, and he cut it down to like a minute and a half, and he's like, and now it's great, you can air it to TV. And in the back of my head I went, what, you censored my art, I hate this class. And as I've grown older, I recognize the ways in which he is right, and I just know that that's a weak point I have. Trimming clips down, trimming the fat, only getting the things you need. I'm very Harlan Ellis in that way. I just keep going. I keep giving. So when I can shorten clips down and get them bite-sized and concise, I pat myself on the back. I'm allowed to occasionally feel good about my work. I seldom ever do. Also, speaking of my work and how it's not good, I've been told by two two separate people. The lighting on these videos is in fact bad, which is funny to me because the thing I notice as being bad, like almost unforgivably so, is the audio is terrible on videos in live action. So I don't know if I'm gonna continue to do them because that D and Dad's video I did was really good, but the audio was already good and the editing was good, and I kind of think that's what more of my channel is gonna look like. I don't know. Shoot me off, sound off in them comments to let me know what you'd think. Should I improve my live action and keep going with that? I'm moving my head back and forth in a way that's weird. Hopefully, it probably didn't show up on the mic at all. I just want to let you all know that I was doing a thing visually in my body to match the vocals. But yeah, I don't know why I said, but yeah, this is completely separate from what I was talking about beforehand. But I do think just lining these clips up is the point, is the thesis of the video. I think a stronger ending kind of would have just been ending there on that. But I was trying to go for an emotional note about Aegon and empathy, because if you can impact people emotionally, they'll remember that and it'll stick with them. And I don't want to make videos that only engage with you analytically is the wrong word, intellectually, because what if you forget about it? I want to make something that makes you feel, you know? I want to engage the way you approach media, but I also want to make you feel something, man. I want to look back at my life and have a body of work. Wouldn't that be neat? This is just straight up me speaking my politics. Can you guess? I'm an anarchist, and I think I, I think structural hierarchy is bad for collective human society. But hey, yeah, it's the point I and Game of Thrones are making. I think hereditary nobility is stupid. I think kings and queens are bad. I think all presidents are bad, even the ones I've voted for. But hey, I don't have to bog you down with my own personal politics. That would, in fact, be boring. I think if you need your art to regressively regurgitate your own political standings back to you, you're intellectually a coward, and you're in some ways insecure about your own beliefs. It's that quote from Gaming Brit, where he says, I am not so insecure about my video game hobbies wherein I need the accolades of people who never respected them. And kind of that again, but about my own politics. They don't tend to get reflected in the mainstream media, and it's fine. I believe in their validity without it. That's just a rant I have about how a lot of people choose to engage. There's just so many things to complain about with how people engage in media. That's a mistake in editing, the fact that there's no sound. Like, even if it was just gay, 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 like, it needed a little extra something, and I was just very late into the editing process, so I kind of wanted it to be done. This is another video, by the way. Didn't think it would be 20 minutes when I wrote it, but then I wrote it out, and I was like, I guess there's 20 minutes of content here.
What's Aegon's history with his family?
Yeah, sometimes I just say the wrong thing, and I don't. If you assume that it's all in one take, thank you for that. It's not, but sometimes I just do not catch myself. Well, here's the thing. I shoot everything in one day. I seldom go back to shoot more things, but there are numerous takes while I am shooting. Oh, here's a fun fact about this video that I thought I would get out, but I forgot to. But at the beginning, when I throw the cup, that ka-chink noise is from, specifically, an angry video game nerd episode. And if you can guess the episode that noise is from, you win a cookie or a month to my Patreon for free. Get all that Patreon content I have and produce for free. God, Kristen Cole is such a cock. What a absolute shit heel. Just the biggest turn he made, and it's a throwback to the old adage of the noblest of knights make for the most contemptuous of villains. It's that thing. It's Takato from Digimon Season 3 Tamers, right? He was so pro Rhaenyra that the second that gets flipped, he's just a cunt, even to kids. Big ups to Otto. I don't know why, but using very modern parlance to discuss these medieval fiction setting characters is funny. So just like, big up Vox from Critical Role. Fucking Geralt of Rivia, the way you protected that child, that's fucking poggers, bro.
Again, that is the face of a profoundly unhappy child.
Yeah, just a miserable little lad. I start a lot of sentences going, yeah, even though they aren't connected to the last thoughts I had, is something I'm knowing about my speech patterns. If you ever want to notice things about your speech patterns, make content. In particular, make a podcast. Make a podcast with your friend, and then discover you hate the way your friend talks, and get irrationally upset about her vocal patterns and habits. Yell at your friend. This is getting very personal. I'm very satisfied with the way that came out. I think it is the cleanest audio in the whole video because I'm not using my lapel mic that works but doesn't make the audio clean. This is complete behind the scenes, like you won't even see it, but when I record in that room, I don't have sound deafening foam boards. I just thumbtack blankets to the wall, and the first time I did that, the audio worked out pretty well, but when I did it for this video, it didn't work. And now we're at the end when I realized in real time, did I make something bad? And hopefully I got everything out I wanted to say in this commentary track. I'm actually very happy because I've been trying to figure out what I want to say for this track, and I got the big thing out, and that's the most important part. There are probably other behind the scenes fun fact, usually what it looks like, that I missed because I kind of intentionally wasn't watching this video because I wanted to get out that thing about why I feel so strange about it. That was more important than all of that stuff. But while I was trying to think of other things I wanted to say, it was mostly me talking and complaining about South Park. Because I love South Park. I'm a lifelong fan. My relationship has become more complicated as I've gotten older, and my feelings about Trey Stone and Matt Parker have changed with age, and our politics do not align, whatever. But most of what I had to say was just me being like, and so, yeah, the episodes of South Park where they aren't so fucking allergic to sincerity tend to be better. Shocker that. So I didn't spend the whole video talking about South Park. I'll probably do it on my podcast one day. Thank you if you listened to this commentary track. This is a weird one. Someone please in the comments, just literally one person, let me know if you enjoy these, because I like making them, and I will continue to do so. Also, if you're a full-on subscriber, shout-outs to you, but the point I wanted to make was, who've been telling me that the new episodes of Dungeons and Daddies are good. I haven't listened. The one right after Normal reads the Doodler's mind, and it has a great opening and closing bit where Lark says we need to kill it and Normal says we need to help it, and that's just a perfect little reverse parallel, the difference between these two people. The episode right after that, where the party does the thing that will always make me audibly groan, but they argue over the the ethics of killing something, I audibly groaned. I turned it off, and I haven't felt the need to go back to Dungeons & Daddy Season 2. But you guys keep telling me it's good, so I'll check it out one day eventually when I've burned through all my other podcasts, and maybe I'll even make a video about it, so you can feel justified in telling me it's good, or I'll make a video about how I don't like it. You'll all tell me I'm wrong, and that'll be cool too. But yeah, again, thanks for sticking around, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do all of the YouTube stuff. You're all beautiful souls. Dark souls. Has nothing to do. I keep doing this. Joke isn't funny anymore. I'm ending the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Goodbye.